Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we'll be looking at a guide for some of my favorite weapons to use early on in the wipe. With the flea market being locked behind level 20, a lot of people have been struggling to find weapons that are effective before having access to it. While these builds may not be as flamboyant as those who can mod their weapons without limitations, these weapons at the very least should be able to give you a competitive edge while you work your way to level 20. The only caveat to these builds is that they require you to have the traders at their maximum loyalty level for whatever level you're currently at. For example, these builds will assume that you have already completed the quest Introduction and have Jaeger unlocked, as well as whenever you hit level 15 you have done enough quests as well as spent enough money on Prapper to unlock his loyalty level 2 purchases and barters. With that out of the way, let's get into some builds. This guide is mainly directed to those who are new to the game, so some extra time may be spent on areas that experienced players are already familiar with. With this in mind, in the description you can find timestamps to fast forward if you are already familiar with a weapon or a build. Regardless of how much you spend on traders, you are confined to loyalty level 1 weapon traders until level 14 where you unlock Peacekeeper level 2, and then level 15 where you unlock loyalty level 2 Prapper, Skier, and Jaeger. For that reason, the first set of weapons will be used for levels 1 through 13. The most consistent and powerful weapon throughout these levels and honestly beyond is without a doubt the OP-SKS. You can purchase it at level 1 Jaeger for 33,197 rubles and you're set. Despite being a semi-automatic assault carbine, this gun is built for early game versatility. For starters, it comes with a dovetail mount with its purchase, which means no mount is needed to purchase to put a sight on the weapon. For close range encounters, you can purchase the Dovetail Cobra EKP 802 for 10,194 rubles from Prapper. For long range engagements, you can purchase the PSO-1 Dovetail Scope from Prapper as well for 19,385 rubles. Another reason this gun is so useful is that it comes with the 10-round captive magazine, meaning that you don't have to buy any additional magazines. All you have to do is buy PS ammo for 91 rubles a round from Prapper, stuff them in your pockets or rig, and just load the bullets from the top. Are you worried that 10 bullets aren't enough? No problem. Peacekeeper sells a 20-round magazine for $70 that can be loaded from the top like a 10-rounder or be quick swapped for another 20-rounder. Don't like the look of the Cobra dovetail sight? Don't worry, you can alternatively buy the Cobra dovetail mount and add another sight that you have access to at levels 1 through 13, such as my personal favorite, the Delta Point. Not to mention, with this dovetail mount you can add a flashlight or a laser on the side. What I'm getting at is that this weapon is a powerhouse. It's cheap, incredibly customizable, the ammo hits like a train, and it can be used in both CQB or long range situations. For its close range build, this weapon has just the OP-SKS as well as a Dovetail EKP using PS ammo. That's it. Super simple, and the build only runs you 43,391 rubles. The long-range counterpart is just as simple. The OP-SKS stock weapon with the PSO-1 coming in at 52,582 rubles. No extra mags, bullets in your pocket, and you're already deadly. While you can, as I mentioned, add 20 rounders, different sights, and flashlights to the build, early game you need to conserve your money, and that's why these builds are so effective. Next up in this level range we have the MP5KN. Right off the bat, I'll say that this is nowhere near as effective as the SKS in my opinion. However, if you're looking for a weapon with a high fire rate early game that is best for close range engagements looking for a headshot, the MP5K is your best option. This is sold by Peacekeeper and will cost you $188 or about 23,500 rubles. The reason I favor this weapon is that other options for a spray and pray weapon this early on is the PP91 Keter and the PPSH, both sold by Prapper. There are two reasons I don't recommend these weapons. Number one, they use subpar calibers, one being 7.62 by 25 and the other being 9 by 18 mm, and two, you can't put a reflex sight on either one. The MP5K addresses both of these issues, having access to rails for a sight, as well as using the 9x19 caliber, which is perfect for filling magazines with PST GZH 9x19 rounds. For this build, we purchased the MP5KN from Peacekeeper, the MP5 MFI HK Universal Low Profile Rail, the Delta Point Cross Slot Mount Base, and the Delta Point Reflex Sight, although you can use whichever sight you prefer. Additionally, I would advise the purchase of the 30 round MP5 magazines rather than the 20 rounders, as at 900 rounds per minute you'll be mag dumping rather quickly. As an aside, be sure to purchase PST-GZH from Mechanic as it saves you money. In total, this build will cost you about $494 or 61,750 rubles. The last weapon I'll be covering in this category is the MP133 shotgun that can be purchased at Jaeger level 1 for 23,869 rubles. In terms of attachments, you don't need any. Shotguns can be incredibly powerful in this game if you know how to use them, and can head eyes your opponents or black limbs with just a few pellets if you're using the right ammo. Adding unnecessary attachments doesn't change that, and with this pump shotgun coming in with a 6-round tube stock, you have more than one opportunity. All of the low-level buckshot in the game has minimum 35 damage, meaning 1 pellet out of the 8 hitting the head will cause an instant kill. That being said, I would recommend the use of 6.5mm express buckshot, as it offers the same armor damage as the 7mm buckshot, as well as offering plus 15 accuracy. This build only costs you the 23,869 rubles that the gun costs, plus cheap ammo, making it at least a honorable mention. That covers some great weapons levels 1 through 13. And now that we're at level 14, we can unlock Loyalty level 2 Peacekeeper and see what he has to offer. Overall, not too much honestly. By far the best weapon he offers is the MP5 SD submachine gun. At $511 or 63,875 rubles, the stock configuration is slightly more expensive than the MP5K with all its attachments. Similar to the MP5K, add the low profile mount and the delta point and your cost is at 88,000 rubles even. Not terrible for a suppressed weapon if you're trying to keep a low profile. Next up, we have somewhat of a sleeper pick with the RFB. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this weapon, but an assault carbine that shoots 7.62 by 51mm this early is nothing to scoff at. This weapon costs $486 or about 60,750 rubles. Add either the tan or gray Tango Down stubby foregrip for $36 and you're set. I see this weapon as more of a mid to long range weapon, but at this level you don't really have access to any long range scope yet, so for me I'll just add another delta point mount and reflex sight. This build with this combination of attachments will run you $715 or 89,375 rubles. Not terrible when firing the M80 that Peacekeeper now provides for you. Now we can get into the real meat and bones of the builds. Weapons built between the levels of 15 and 19. At level 15, bearing that you have achieved all requirements, you will get level 2 Prepper, level 2 Skier, and level 2 Jaeger, which really opens the door for you. We'll start with my favorite early budget gun, the PP-1901 submachine gun. I'm currently sitting around level 36 and I'm still using this weapon. It's cheap, its mods are cheap, and it fires cheap ammo. It's just an amazing gun and I'm going to show you how to build it. First, you buy the stock gun from Prepper for 21,514 rubles. Next, you purchase the GP25 recoil pad from Prepper for 3,522 rubles. After this, we purchase the AK100 series polymer handguard from level 1 Prepper for 1,441 rubles. Next up is the RTM Pilau foregrip from Skier level 2 for 4,025 rubles. Then, we can purchase the RP1 charging handle for 3,063 rubles for plus 1 ergo. For the pistol grip, purchase the Tapco saw pistol grip for $44. Last but not least, we have the Cobra EKP 802 dovetail sight from level 1 Prepper and our build is complete. With this weapon and all its attachments, the build costs you 49,259 rubles. I cannot emphasize enough how much of a steal this weapon is. 50,000 rubles is an insanely low cost for how effective this weapon is, and I almost always will get it back in insurance. As a bonus, PST-GZH can now be purchased from Prepper level 2, 2 rubles less per bullet, which saves you almost nothing, but it's notable. Also, if you don't like the EKP sight, just add the dust cover with rails from Prepper and add your own sight. For our next weapon, we'll be looking at the AKM. While some people would prefer the 5.45 by 39mm AKs, in my opinion, the bullets that you have access to at this stage are not worth it, and the 7.62 by 39 PS ammo is still much stronger. For that reason, we will buy this AKM from level 2 Prepper for 43,069 rubles. First, we'll add the Taktika Tula adapter from Skier for 708 rubles, and with this on, we can add the DTK-1 muzzle brake from Skier for 4,865 rubles. Next, we'll add the AK-100 series handguard from Prapor for 1,114 rubles, and put the RTM Pilau foregrip from Skier level 2 for 4,025 rubles on. From here, I would change the wooden stock to the black polymer stock sold by Prapor for 2,255 rubles, and put the GP25 butt pad on the stock for 3,522 rubles, also from Prapor. Once this is on, we'll move over to our dust cover, where we can take off the rear sight and the dust cover to add the Academia Bastion dust cover from Skier for 6,325 rubles. You can then add a sight of your choice, but I'll be using the Delta Point in this example. Last but not least, we add the saw-style pistol grip from Peacekeeper for $44, and our build is complete. While this build is moderately expensive, coming in at 95,508 rubles, it is one of the most fully fleshed out guns that you can make at this level. Last but not least is the OP-SKS Again. Not a lot changes with this build from the level 1 through 13 build, but this weapon is so good it's hard not to recommend it. We'll start off with the same builds that we had before. The only thing that changes is that we now have access to the SKS weapon tuning adapter from Jaeger for 1,943 rubles. We then add the DTK-1 muzzle brake from Skier for 4,865 rubles, and now we have a slightly upgraded but largely still the same OP-SKS. The cost for the CQB SKS is now at 50,199 rubles, and the long-range SKS at 59,390 rubles. Now, for completely arbitrary reasons, I will go ahead and rank the top 3 weapons of those discussed. In third, I have to go with the AKM. What holds it back without a doubt is its cost, but being able to fire 7.62 by 39mm at 600 rounds per minute at level 15 and higher makes it a force to be reckoned with. Not to mention, the Punisher forces you to use an AKM platform to kill scavs. In second, we have the OP-SKS. An argument can certainly be made that this weapon deserves the top spot, but it is nonetheless an amazing weapon. Easily the best budget weapon for long-range engagements, and one that can definitely handle itself in CQB with its damage alone. While perhaps not surprising, the number 1 spot has to go to the PP-1901 submachine gun. This weapon is an absolute terror for any PMCs that you might encounter. 50,000 rubles for an absolute laser beam of a weapon that you'll often get back in insurance, only costs about 70 rubles a round, and fires at 900 rounds per minute is insane. While players with above average armor or face shields become a problem when using PST-GZH, I believe that the upsides of this weapon make it undeniable as the top weapon of the lower levels. If you enjoyed the content, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and good luck in your raids.